So it's officially summer and I realized I haven't reviewed a comedy yet. But luckily Scarlett Johansson was there to save me. Rough Night. Here we go. We've all been there. Not like this, but we've been there. Rough Night, starring Scarlett Johansson, Kate McKinnon, Jillian Bell, Alana Glazer, and Zoe Kravitz. Rough Night is a pretty standard setup for a comedy, and we've seen some of this before. The movie opens, we meet this group of friends from college. The movie jumps forward 10 years, and now it's Scarlett Johansson's bachelorette party, so everyone is gonna come back together for this crazy night or crazy weekend in Miami. This crazy party in Miami kind of takes a hard left turn when the stripper hired for Scarlett Johansson's party is accidentally killed. Oh, and it's messy. So yes, the plot is familiar, and you've seen elements of this movie before in Hangover, Weekend at Bernie's, Very Bad Things. You can see nuggets and influence of those movies throughout. It may be familiar, but it's damn funny. I laughed out loud a lot throughout this movie. First quarter or so of this movie, maybe a little bit less, was very much like what you saw in the trailer. It was set up jokes. It was just hit very, very quickly. And then once this stripper dies, the movie just comes to a hard, it doesn't stop, but the tone definitely goes, we're going this way. The tone shifts to a much darker comedy tone, a much darker humor. So there's things you're laughing at, but you really shouldn't be laughing at them, but it's a comedy, so it's okay. The jokes and the humor still hit for sure, but there is now this cloud of, oh, there's a dead guy in the other, cocaine joke.
Let's get rid of all the drugs. I want it.
Not by doing them.
Okay, someone tell me what to do, and I will do it. Huh?
What really made this movie work was the cast. The cast was great, and there was really no one that was interchangeable. There are guys in the cast, but I'm going to focus on the core group of women because that's who the movie mostly follows. And usually when you have, I'll just say an ensemble group, there's usually a couple you don't like, but not here, and not for me. I liked them all. This may be a little ridiculous to say about a straight up comedy, but they actually wove very real, poignant, emotional moments within this movie, within the characters. And it made you actually care about the characters more, which actually made the comedy hit a little bit harder. And then when the script flips a little bit and things get emotional, you're invested in that too. It was smart. They put some real emotional components into all the characters. I guess the best way to describe it is that the women were portrayed as real. I know people like that. Like all of the characters, you could kind of pick and choose. You go, I know someone like that. I know someone who's the party person, or I know someone who's the environmental advocate. I know. So they had these archetypes, they had these characters that you could see your friends in, which made it a lot more enjoyable to watch. And I'll admit, there were a couple characters that I kept thinking, I'm not gonna like this character. They would do something that would just slap that idea right out of my head. So, well played, movie. Well played. There was this undercurrent of an idea within the movie, which is that as we grow and as our friends grow, we change, our personalities change. And sometimes it's hard to accept that and come to grips with that. And this movie tackles a bit of that reality that we all have to deal with. And if you haven't had to deal with it, you will have to deal with it. So they kind of tiramisu'd this movie. They had some layers to it. Again, good cast, good characters, more interesting, more relatable, better movie. Of the core group, I do want to point out Kate McKinnon. If you've been hiding under a rock, Kate McKinnon's on SNL. She's one of the funniest ones on SNL as far as I'm concerned. I love Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon, love you. Hi, Kate McKinnon, call me. When the movie opens and you see this core group of friends in college, their personalities come out right away. So when the movie skips forward 10 years, you kind of understand who these characters are. You don't meet Kate McKinnon until about 15 minutes into the movie. She's kind of this long lost friend that's from Australia. She's the wild card. You don't really know what she's gonna do and what she's gonna say.
Hey, but what are you doing for work these days?
Well, singer-songwriter is the dream, party clown is the reality.
And from the moment she came on screen, she stole a lot of the movie in a good way. Whenever there's a moment she's reacting or the camera cuts to her, whether she's just saying something with her eyes or she's actually saying something, she swings for the fences. She's damn funny. She's this combination of random, oblivious, kind of hardcore. She's that friend who will jump in and do pretty much anything for you. They're awesome, but they're still kind of crazy. Behind the main story, behind the A story, there's this B story going on, which is Scarlett Johansson's fiance's bachelor party. Really, none of this was touched on in the trailer, so I'm not going to ruin everything, but suffice to say that the tone, when they would cut from this craziness that's going on with all the women to all the guys, was a much different tone. It was the yang to the yin of this movie. So when it would cut to all the guys, it was almost as funny as what was going on with the women. They were really funny, and I think they were used just the right amount. I felt like these cuts to the group of guys. There's definitely a bit of commentary on there to what the modern man is becoming. That's all I'm gonna say. Hashtag no context. I'm gonna keep this review fairly short because I've had a few notes, people saying, are reviews usually 8 minutes long? Comedies are fairly simple. It was funny or it wasn't funny. Rough Night was definitely a good time. It had me laughing out loud when it needed to be. It had me cringing in a number of spots, while at the same time I really respect the heart that they put into this movie. The cast flat out worked really well together. Well done. Well done, cast. So as always, we come back to that main question of, was I entertained? Yes, I definitely was. Which I'm really happy to be able to finally say, because a lot of comedies in the last while have been kind of suck. It's like, yeah, I guess it was a comedy. It said so on the sign. But Rough Night definitely delivers. So amongst my rating scale, I'm gonna give Rough Night a silver screen. It was up there. I mean, if you're into comedies like Superbad and Hangover and, you know, those kinds of movies, then you'll like this one. And it's not something that, do I need to go see it again in the theater? No, I don't need to. But if I had some friends who wanted to go, I'd definitely go with them. If I went back to the theater and watched it again, I'm sure I'd pick up a few jokes that I didn't pick up the first time around. But either way, I'm 99% sure I'd enjoy watching it again, for sure. But this is just my opinion. What really matters is what you think. So, have you seen Rough Night? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Put it in the comments, let me know. I'd love to know what you think. And just for fun, what is the most underrated comedy in your opinion? Or a movie that maybe isn't labeled as a comedy that you think is hilarious and nobody else seems to? I have a good friend of mine who says one of her favorite comedies is American Psycho. When I went back with the idea of it being a comedy, it's pretty damn funny. I really hope you enjoyed the review. Stay entertained until next time, and until next time, bye-bye.